Who is this girl? It's not Nicole. I don't know who this is. Welcome back to another week of Bowl of Nicole. I've read some of your comments. Thank you for commenting. I really appreciate hearing from you and seeing your interaction with my videos. It makes me really happy. And make sure if you want to ask me any questions, comment with the hashtag Bowl of Q's and I will answer those questions. So this week I'm kind of last minute. Halloween was this Monday and I was making costumes like crazy. I actually made a costume for me, my cousin, and my sister, but I'm also a terrible procrastinator, so it took me forever on Sunday to make them last minute, but I have to say I'm very proud of the outcome and I think they turned out great. So I was completely worn out from that, and this week is just gonna be kind of a little bit last minute, and I am sorry for that. So this week I'm just gonna talk about The Walking Dead and that one time I met Norman Reedus. I actually got to meet a lot of the other actors too at the Walker Stalker Con here in Denver, but I did the Walker Stalker Con with my cousins, so maybe in future videos when they're in it we can talk about that together. So anyway, Walking Dead season 7 is here, obviously. For all of you fans out there, including me, we are all aware of season 7 being here, and spoiler alert, click out if you have not watched the season 7 premiere. I know we're already 2 weeks in, but if you have not watched the season 7 premiere, this is your opportunity to click away. So Glenn dies, and it's Daryl's fault, basically, is what people are saying. I think it is Daryl's fault. Negan specifically said, "I'm not going to take any more crap from you guys," in so many words. Daryl insisted on getting up and punching him in the face, so I feel like that directly led to Glenn dying, which is really sad because Glenn was really my favorite character. When I think about not seeing Glenn on the show, it still kind of hurts my heart, but I still love Daryl. I can't not love Daryl. And Abraham dies, and that was sad too. I really loved Abraham, but I wanted to kind of focus on the segue to Daryl. Ever since that one episode, Cherokee Rose, in season 2, when he was so devoted to finding Sophia for Carol, that was the first time in Walking Dead when I really just fell in love with Daryl as a character, and it was the first time I think we all saw another side to Daryl. But anyway, I'm excited to see what happens in this season with Daryl and the rest of the characters. Back to my story about how I got to meet Norman Reedus. Back when I lived in Texas, I volunteered for Comic-Con in Austin, Texas. I think it was like 2 years ago. We found out that Norman Reedus was going to be there, and it was the reason I wanted to go. So it was kind of funny. I got there and I was a little bit late because I had to work the first day that everybody was volunteering. The leaders of the volunteers put me in charge of guarding the lines to get in the con. And I was standing there like, this is stupid. I don't want to do this. I don't want to stand here. I want to go in there and see the characters, the actors, you know, the stars. I was like a total fangirl, you know. Side note, I'm not normally like super confident or anything. I kind of just go with the flow. I'm pretty laid back. But this time in particular, I wanted to work inside of the convention and be able to work side by side with the stars. And so I just went into it with this like confident jacket almost that I put on that didn't belong to me, it felt like, but I just put it on and I wore it throughout the whole weekend. So as I was standing guarding these lines where no one was, everybody was already in the convention. It was Friday night. Nobody knew was coming in. It was kind of towards the end. I knew that like I didn't really need to be there. So I asked one of the volunteer leaders if I could go into the convention and help out in there. So they were like, yeah, go ahead and on in, you know, see if you can find one of the people in the specific shirts and see if they need any help. So I went right over to where the stars were, and Michael Rooker was there, and he actually was just leaving. And so he kind of passed through our little area and was like signing shirts. And it was kind of awkward, but he just like came in for the kill and signed my shirt. But I was starstruck also, you know, because it's Michael Rooker, holy cow. So he walks off, and pretty much that was the end of that night. But the next day I came back as a volunteer, and I specifically knew exactly where Norman Reedus was going to be. And I went over to the star area, and I found the volunteer head there. And I asked him if anybody was over at the Norman Reedus stand, and he wasn't gonna be there until later on, but I asked if I could stand there and kind of guard it, and they're like, yeah, you can. I stood there for like 2 hours, and finally he gets there, and I'm like starstruck again. Holy cow, he's sitting right there. I had to, you know, play it cool and just be the volunteer and stand there and not stare, you know, totally fangirl out. I was hoping that at the end he would, you know, he was signing autographs, and when he was done, I was hoping that he would, like, you know, come over and say hi or something, but he didn't. He had to get out over to his pictures. So I had been standing there for like 4 hours while he was signing autographs or something crazy like that. It felt like 4 hours. And I decided to go off because my brothers were there, and I decided to take my break and just hang out with them, thinking I wasn't going to get my place back at his booth. When I came back after my break, the volunteers that were there kind of like scooted out of my way, and I was like, the heck? And so I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is my spot kind of attitude. It was like, who is this girl? It's not Nicole. I don't know who this is. But I got right back there to where I was, and at the end of that little autograph signing session, he was about to head to the hotel, and I was talking to a couple of other of the volunteers, and I was like, I feel like I have to go say something to him. I want to say hi and just thank him for coming, you know? And I was very nervous and my hands were sweating. They were like, yeah, go ahead and go. And so I kind of eased my way over there, really nervous. Like, I asked his manager, I was like, do you think he might sign our shirts? He's like, oh, you gotta ask him yourself. Like, I don't know. It's up to him. I didn't want to be like that annoying person that was like, ah, you know, but that's kind of how I felt like inside. So I eased my way a little bit closer over there and I said, excuse me, Norman? He goes, yes, yes. And he like took my hand. And I was like, I was wondering, I was wondering if you might sign my shirt. And he was like, oh, yeah, no worries. Like, he was totally cool about it, signed my shirt. And then the other volunteers came over and he gave us a hug. He was really nice. That was the first time that I'd ever met like a Hollywood star or celebrity, you know, and especially from my favorite TV show. It was definitely a cliche fangirl moment, but I was like trying to hide that as much as possible. And then I met up with my brothers after that, and I was like, you'll never guess what happened. I just got to meet Norman Reedus, and he signed my shirt. One of my brothers like totally went white in the face. He goes, no, or something like that. And I was like, yeah. And I showed him the shirt and I was like shaking still. Crazy. So that's all for now. I hope you like this last minute story time video. Hopefully my brain will be pulled back together next week, but hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, a like, subscribe with that lovely little red button. I make new videos every Thursday, so keep on tuning in. And again, if you want me to answer any of your questions in a future questions and answers video, please tweet me with the hashtag #BowlOfQs with any question that you might fancy asking me. And I would love to answer those questions. So I guess that's all. I'll see you next week. Bye.